How will the media spin these updated facts on the raid of Mar-A-Lago and Trump's possibility that he broke the law multiple times? Well, in every direction simultaneously. So one anchor, Eric Shawn, floated the possibility that Trump might have tried to sell the classified documents. And I think he actually mentioned specifically the possibility that they were selling these documents to Vladimir Putin. I would say if they are nuclear documents, it's not that Putin wouldn't want them, but they've got thousands of nukes. I think they're doing okay. And by the way, I know a lot of people are jumping to that he was selling the documents. That is not impossible, but we need some evidence. First of all, that's a great way to blackmail him if he were to try to, that's true. But there's other much easier explanations of Trump wanting to show it to people, to brag about it. I would just say let's pump the brakes on specifically the selling it. We'll find out if that's what it was. Anyway, others are more defensive of Trump. One host, as Will Kane said, President Nixon said if the president does it, then it's not illegal. And you know you're in a good spot when it comes to abuse of presidential power when you're citing President Nixon positively. Anyway, he specifically said, when it comes to classified documents, famously, President Nixon said, if the president does it, then it is not illegal. Is that not truly the standard when it comes to classified documents? The president has the ability to at any time declassify anything, which is very not true. But lying openly is very on brand for a fan of President Nixon. So they're going in a couple different directions there. That's not actually the most embarrassing part. We're gonna get to that in one sec. Sean Hannity descends to humiliating depths to defend Donald Trump. But Francesca, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, this is an entire party like that, and part of the Republican Party that didn't learn from Nixon at all. You know, Roger Stone has a tattoo of him on his back, and I'm sure he's working on the Trump one, right? He's gonna have the tramp stamp Trump tattoo above, we don't have to talk about where. But like this is just amazing to me. Like, don't stop bringing up Watergate, bro. In his very first truth, Trump started bringing up Watergate. This is like Watergate. Yeah, it is in one way, which is that you abused your powers as president. Like he's like, no,
and stole secrets.
And stole, exactly. It's like, no, it's because the break-in, the DNC. Like, no, that's not how it's like Watergate at all. And that dude actually resigned in shame because he was guilty. You got voted out. It's kind of fun. Maybe you should have resigned earlier instead of face defeat. Anywho, yeah.
Anyway, I do want to turn to Sean Hannity because that's where it gets perhaps the most pathetic. So a couple days ago, he said, if there are nuclear documents, then the FBI definitely planted them. And he's not gonna believe, he said, I don't care what they are, I'm not gonna believe it. So he's at least being honest in his dishonesty. But anyway, it goes beyond that. The Nixon thing as a defense for Trump, that looks bad. But get a load of this.
You think that they would try and indict the former president in the hopes of convicting him and having him in jail at the time of the next election to prevent him from running? Because a conviction, by the way, constitutionally would not prevent him from running for office.
Now look, Sean Hannity is awful and pathetic. He's not wrong. We actually interviewed Dave Leventhal of Insider recently. I believe that's already up on the channel. He can apparently run for president and in fact serve as president behind bars.
Yes.
But the fact that that doesn't bother Sean Hannity, that he's prepping for like, well, I guess plan B is jailhouse president, jailhouse POTUS, I guess. I'd watch that movie, by the way. Someone should definitely make that movie. Anyway, that's not where you should be as a party. There are other people that could run. DeSantis is a crazy conservative radical. Why wouldn't you switch to him at that point?
Because he's like a really bad public speaker. Don't you kind of like every time you sort of get afraid of DeSantis, you like watch him say something and he's like, right? And you're just like, oh God, you like you don't even have a Trumpian level of sort of cadence. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. What's the word? Clearly, I'm there too.
You're a regular DeSantis, Francesca.
I'm not just a run-of-the-mill DeSanti. Here's the thing. I did a deep dive because I got very scared, more than 10 minutes of a Google search, and was like, oh yeah, you can run and serve as president while in jail.
Yeah.
What the hell? We live in a country where former felons cannot vote. But if you're Donald Trump and you are indicted and maybe you're convicted and you're serving time, you can be president, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah, well, so he could run, but he couldn't vote. It would be delicious if he lost by 1 vote in that state.
All I need is one. Anyway.
Just one. Somebody, Barron, get out there, man. You're killing me. Anyway, Yeetwood Mac thinks the word is charisma that you're looking for.
Yes,
Anyway,
thank you.
Just really fast, a couple more comments. Laura Ingraham, and this is fascinating, says, Donald Trump's been a friend of mine for 25 years, and I'm always very open about this on my show, but we'll see whether that's what the country wants. The country, I think, is so exhausted. They're exhausted by the battle, the constant battle, that they may believe that, well, maybe it's time to turn the page if we can get someone who has all of Trump's policies who's not Trump, right? I'm not saying the dagger's in the back, but the dagger is tickling the back. A little bit of that. Anyway, interestingly, credit, as occasionally happens, to Steve Doocy, I guess, for saying, with all these threats going around, it would ultimately be great if the former president, who has always been a great supporter of law enforcement and who has posed with 1,000 police departments coast to coast, it would be great if he called for an end to the violent rhetoric against federal law enforcement, and in particular the FBI that was just doing their job. Good luck on that one. Anyway, Ainsley Earhart condemned the threats and says, no one is for the violence of FBI agents. Yeah, except for Donald Trump, the dude that you're talking about, and many of his supporters. Many of the conservatives watching your show are like, well, yeah, no, back the blue, but if they take down Trump, I'm gonna shoot every single one of them in the head.
Yeah.
Okay, deny that. That's your audience.
Defund the FBI, except
Let's do that.
not let's just attack them. I have to say, Steve Doocy is like a hop, skip, and a jump away from going to CNN. He's gonna follow Chris Wallace, but I love how passive aggressive he's. I don't know. Maybe the president might have accidentally committed a major crime here, but I'm just saying, maybe we shouldn't be, trying to attack FBI agents. Anyway, back to my oatmeal. Like he's so wholesomely bothered by what's happening.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna see it. Man, it is like I don't want to watch Fox News all day long, but things are developing faster. And I think people are starting to try to produce a little bit of cover, but that does not mean that they're gonna throw them to the wolves. Anyway,
because
with that
they
said,
know what's gonna happen. Sorry, just they know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be another attack, and then what are they gonna do? Just not cover it or have to excuse it?
Yeah. Say it's Antifa. It's obviously Antifa. That's easy. I just did that. That's super easy. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.